The Horn Frog Podcast. Let's talk sports with Coach Dub. The Horn Frog Podcast. Good morning, gentlemen. This is Coach Dub coming to you live from downtown Fort Worth with your Week 1 Horn Frog Podcast. And this episode is brought to you proudly by Rick's Cabaret Fort Worth. Come early for the drink specials, stay late for the entertainment, and 1835 bourbon. Texan made, Texan proud, go Texan, 1835 bourbon. Come and take it. We're going to start with your offensive and defensive players of the week for Week 1 in the ACC. Your offensive player of the week, UCLA quarterback Matt Bickett. 17 of 21 for 80%, 419 yards passing, 6 passing touchdowns, and no interceptions as the Bruins light up the scoreboard, scoring 84 points in a dominant win versus their FCS opponent. And now for your ACC Defensive Player of the Week, Kentucky Wildcats defensive tackle, Lane Wiggum. 7 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. He also had 2 sacks as the Wildcats maul their FCS opponent 70-3. Now let's jump over to the Big 12. Your offensive player of the week, Florida State wide receiver Titus Gayton. 7 receptions, 202 receiving yards. He also had 3 receiving touchdowns as the Seminoles run wild on the Blue Devils 68-7. Now for your Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, that's going to be TCU linebacker Ronald Malden. 11 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. He also had an interception, even though the TCU defense was exposed as they gave up 573 yards to UCSA. 3 turnovers by the defense and a safety gave TCU the edge it needed to escape San Antonio with a win, 73-51 over the Roadrunners. Now to your Big 10 offensive and defensive players of the week. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive player of the week is Tennessee middle linebacker LaMarcus Donnerson. 13 tackles and 1 tackle for loss as Tennessee escapes by the skin of their teeth, 52-49 over Arkansas. Now for your offensive player of the week in the Big 10. That's going to be Ohio State wide receiver Robbie Fasano. He had 5 receptions, 279 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns as Ohio State shuts out their FCS opponent 77-0. And now for your final offensive and defensive players of the league, let's talk about the SEC. Your SEC Offensive Player of the Week for Week 1. Arkansas sophomore running back Dalton Stephen had an impressive day. 25 carries, 360 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. He also averaged 14.4 yards per carry. But the Razorbacks and junior quarterback Dwayne Moses were all out of miracles as Arkansas falls short against number 1 Tennessee. Now for your SEC Defensive Player of the Week, Texas Tech strong safety Lamar Pettigout. 9 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. He also had a sack. But on a day that the offense had struggled, the defense couldn't pick up the slack as number 5 Texas Tech falls to number 4 South Carolina 42-24. This is Coach Dub from Fort Worth signing off, and don't forget to pick you up a bottle of 1835 bourbon. Come and take it. Until next week, this is Coach Dub signing off.